in your county and for your assembly and state senate, it makes a hell of a difference to get out there and vote. Because that's what affects your day-to-day. That's what affects your pocketbook more than anything. Sure, federal taxes are high, but you know what? If you took out our state taxes in this state, like New Hampshire did, you'd be doing a heck of a lot better, you know? You could move to New Hampshire right now, all things being equal, and have an extra $4 grand in your pocket a year. That's your kid's college savings. That's a car payment. You know, after 5 years, that's a down payment on a house. That's why people are leaving New York State. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You know, they'll distract you and say, oh, social issues and equality, and you know what? That stuff does matter, but it doesn't matter if you don't have a foundation to stand on. And I find it to be quite fitting that I'm standing at a gazebo which was beautiful 10 years ago and is now run down like this. Roads falling apart. Basic things that we pay taxes for. Clean water, safe bridges, roads to drive on, police, fire. They're getting gutted to keep people on the system, keep them dependent, keeping them out of work. Some of these people, you know, we talk about the lazy issue, that's true. A lot of people would make less money if they go and work full time. That's a disaster. That's why we're screwed. We have a disaster on our hands. When it is economically advantageous to stay on the system, as opposed to get off it and work, the system's done. We don't reverse course soon, we literally are going to be broke. We already are broke. Okay?
I know.
I mean, we're broke. There's no doubt about it. Every city, every state, the nation. Where's all the money going? Who the hell do we owe money to?
How do you,
They're planning it.
what do you do?
But we could try, you know, the thing is...
What can you do?
The thing that you do is you say, look, let's look at it as if it's our budget at home. You know, we've been racking up our credit cards. You know, as far as a nation goes, we might have to sell some property. We might have to let the U.S. Virgin Islands go. We might have to let territory in Guam go. That might happen. You know, territories that our forefathers fought and died for, we're going to lose because of our addiction to spending and thinking that we know better, that we know how to run people's lives. I don't know how to run your life. I want to get in office and leave you alone. Let you live your own life. You know, set it up so that you can live the way you want to live. Try and keep some money in your pocket and keep the roads and the water safe. That's about it. Basic stuff. You know, you want to own a firearm, as long as you're not mentally insane, you should have the right to. You know, if you fought and died for this country, we shouldn't say, he was in the military, so he's probably got some mental issues, no firearm for him. That's what they're doing. They're taking away firearms, as you mentioned earlier, New World Order, because we're so far in debt that eventually when a loaf of bread costs $25 because crap hits the fan, people are going to revolt. That's why they're taking the firearms away. That's reality.